The weather this December is about to be extremely different because after 3 consecutive La Nina winters, we are entering this one in an El Nino. And El Nino is about to reach peak intensity in the Pacific Ocean, bringing about a major weather pattern shift here in the United States. In this video, I'm going to tell you exactly what that means for you. El Nino and La Nina are just what we call temperature anomalies around the equator in the Pacific Ocean. When the waters down there get cooler than usual, we call that La Nina. And when they start to get really warm, we call that El Nino. And the reason we care so much about this at all is because since the Pacific Ocean is the largest body of water on Earth, its temperature fluctuations affect weather patterns worldwide. And with over 50 years of data, we're starting to really understand exactly how those temperature fluctuations affect our weather here in the United States. That's why nearly half a year ago, I made a video talking about how I thought this would be the pattern we would be experiencing this winter, and several months later, we now have this official winter forecast from the Climate Prediction Center. They line up almost perfectly, and it's not because I'm some magical weather wizard. It's simply because those waters in the Pacific Ocean are doing exactly what we thought they would do, and we now understand the implications of that. Right now, the majority of the Pacific Ocean water that we look at when tracking El Nino is much warmer than average, and the latest forecast models show the temperature of that water continuing to rise and peaking in December, January, and February before slowly starting to recede as we head into spring. Usually, El Nino conditions in the Pacific will cause the polar jet stream to extend farther north. This keeps most of the really cold air locked up into Canada, but some of it does try to sneak into the US from time to time. It depends on the amplitude wave pattern of the jet stream and how far south it dips into the US, but the overall pattern tends to lead to high pressure building up on the underside of the jet stream and much warmer than average temperatures being the main story across the central and northern US. However, our subtropical jet stream is also lofted farther north, interacting with much of the southern US and bringing in recurring storm systems one after another. This not only leads to a lot of rain, but also much cooler temperatures in the south. And as we go into the first half of December, we're already going to see several instances where we have that polar jet stream extended across Canada, and we have an amped up subtropical jet to the south. That's why over the next week or two, we are expecting much warmer than average temperatures up here in the north central portions of the US. And of course, because of that amplified southern jet stream, we're going to see a lot of rain in the south. In fact, the latest GFS model shows this very clearly by pointing out several subtropical jet stream induced storms marching in one after another throughout the first half of the month. The vast majority of this rain will fall over the deep south, but notice how even parts of the Midwest, Ohio Valley, and even the Northeast get drenched as a result of this pattern. Parts of Alabama and Georgia could see well over 5 inches of rain, while 1 to 3 inches of rain could fall in the Ohio Valley, and up to 4 to 5 inches of rain could also fall up here in New England. And as far as snow goes, nothing really significant happens with these storms according to the latest models. The main focus will be on all that rain and the thunderstorms that come along with it. Things are going to be quite active, and we have to continue to watch out for severe weather events as well because we are still in our fall tornado season. But remember, weather patterns are never static. If the synoptic pattern that we are in right now does persist through winter, eventually a big storm will latch onto that subtropical jet stream and travel across the Gulf of Mexico, picking up moisture and energy along the way. And it is probable with a big enough amplitude wave pattern in the jet stream, even though El Nino is in place, our polar jet will make a few plunges to the south throughout the winter. At some point, these two jet streams are going to merge or phase for a moment. And if there happens to be a storm or two riding along that jet stream at that time, we could be talking about a massive snowstorm blowing up where those two jet streams meet. And trust me, I know you're very hungry for more information about this next potentially big snowstorm. I am too. And we've got a lot more on the way. But first, since we're hungry, let's talk about today's sponsor. Factor, America's #1 ready-to-eat meal kit. Factor delivers fresh, never frozen, dietitian-approved meals right to your doorstep. No more grocery store, no more fast food delivery, no more chopping, and especially no more washing the dishes, okay? We've got Factor. There's absolutely no reason why someone would not want to try Factor. We absolutely love it here at the Weather House. With Factor, you get to choose from over 35 flavor-packed meals that cater to your preferences. They've got gourmet stuff, they've got calorie-conscious stuff, they've got protein-packed stuff. You name it, they've got it. And here's the best parts, there's add-ons too. Do you want some apple cinnamon pancakes for breakfast? Add it on. You want some cold-pressed juices? add it on. And these meals are so easy to prepare. You just pop them in the microwave and wait 2 minutes and enjoy. Plus, they offset 100% of their delivery emissions by sourcing 100% renewable energy electricity for their production sites. I mean, what is there not to love? Especially since you can click the link in the description right now or go to factor75.com and use the code HAULYALL50 for a whopping 50% off. So go ahead and click that link in the description. I promise you won't regret it. So we've went over a lot of stuff so far in this video. From El Nino ramping up in the Pacific and several storm systems that are building up right now and are on their way to the States, to a big weather pattern shift that's about to happen. Now it's time to break all that down into some easy to digest graphics. Here is your official temperature outlook for the month of December. Thanks to the effects of our El Nino reaching peak potential down here near the Pacific, I think the polar jet stream is going to stay well up into Canada for at least the majority of December. This is going to continue to bring much warmer than average temperatures across the vast majority of the country, especially in the north central US. And while I do think we're going to see several storm systems in the south, none of them are really going to be strong enough to pull down a significant amount of cold air from the north. Things will get cooler down here when there's a lot of cloud cover and rain, but during breaks, things will heat up and probably get pretty toasty, especially for winter. So for the most part, when you average it all out, we will experience near normal temperatures this December in places like Louisiana and Florida. Despite this, the recurring nature of these storms will keep things wet, so we are going to be dealing with much above average precipitation in the southeast throughout the month of December. The rest of us are going to be near normal or slightly below normal, especially in parts of the north central plains. Now, I don't see any big snowstorms on their way in early December. All of the latest model runs continue to show several storms coming out of the south, but once again, without a big enough amplitude wave pattern in the polar jet, low pressure systems down here are going to stick with the subtropical jet. It sounds kind of complicated, but it all boils down to this. If an anomalously big storm does decide to form in December and we get a snowstorm, I think the best chance for big snow would be in the extreme northeastern parts of the country, up here in New England. This is where the cold air could actually mix in. There's a chance a cold blast could bring some chilly air farther south, but the warmth we will have in place is going to be hard to contend with. Basically, what I'm saying is, if you're a snow lover, and I know there's a lot of you out there, and you don't live in New England, you don't live in the Rocky Mountains or the Cascades, don't get your hopes up too high just yet. The headlines from this December will likely be about the drought-busting rainfall across the southeast and the very warm temperatures and maybe even severe weather, not snow. But here's the thing, if a lot of snow isn't in the cards this December, that will change in January or February. We've got to take this one month at a time, one storm at a time, and one video at a time. Of course, when that next big snowstorm or severe weather event does start to show itself, we're going to be giving you constant updates on the form of videos here on YouTube and of course live streams during the action with storm chasers on the ground. If you don't want to miss the next stream, make sure you subscribe right now and turn notifications on. Also, if you enjoyed this video, please slap that like button. It helps out more than you could possibly know. And of course, subscribe to the channel and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.